Welcome back to In His Mind. I have something here that I want to complement the lesson with, and it's awesome. It kind of fits perfectly with Tuesday night with Bible study. So, yeah, let me just show you guys, all right? Well, let me play it for you guys.
The colors of the harder styles. It's gonna be a hell of a ride. Maximum force readiness. Def Con 1.
It's really good. I'll link the song down below. It's awesome. Now, don't get me wrong, the band itself is questionable content, left and right, up and down, all around. Like, oh my word. I'm not even going to get into it. They really bring the harder style out. It ties in well with, I want to point out that me, Mark, and a couple other people, many other people I've come across, we're going to disagree, and we're going to, kind of be like, we don't see eye to eye. And this is going to relate to y'all just because you're going to go through life and be like, run into people you just cannot talk to. And I'm not talking about the people who outright hate you. I'm talking about where you and these other people, you disagree and you stand on different principles. You see differently. No matter whatever the field is, no matter the subject or the topic, there's going to be those people you're just going to be across the aisle from. And it kind of hit me when Mark, I'm just going to use Mark as, to represent this person I'm talking about. Whereas we're talking about how we became Christians and our walks and our paths, and he was explaining it, and he's right. I don't know him. I don't know his walk in life. But the point that I want to make clear is that I believe one of the differences between me and him, and conversely many other Christians, unfortunately, this is not really a positive or a benefit. It's something that was a consequence, but not something that I chose knowingly. As a result, my foundation as a Christian has been cut in half, so to speak. So for me, I do rely on the Bible, but I've seen a very real need for answers and understanding that I'm not simply seeing in scriptures, in the Bible. There's a lot that parallels scripture in the Bible on the outside. And so increasingly I've found myself going outside of the church and the Bible time and time again. This is to complement my life, to complement the needs, and hopefully to find the answers to what I'm looking for. And I know other people have said that I'm looking for things, but that is what, draws me to Christ. And I'm like, no. I do not simply go to Christ trying to find answers. That's wrong. But to kind of drive home the point here with foundations, because this is kind of cool, this is neat, this is very neat, is the fact that because of the choices that I've made in the past, yeah, it sucks and it hurt pretty bad, but I have become a lot more aware and I'm more understanding of what's around me because of this. My head is not buried in the sand, so to speak. I am seeing a lot around me, and trying to convey and talk about this stuff is hard. It's either hard to the listener or it's hard for me because my social skills are just not as good as others. Plain and simple. I just need to kind of like redo a lot. Like I make a lot of mistakes, so I have to redo a lot. It could be to redo these videos. It could just simply be taking 5 minutes to convey a very simple point to another person in a conversation. Oh man. Still, I've improved as time goes on. But still, when it comes down to foundations, people would say that, you know, they grew up in this church and they're a Baptist or a Protestant. You know, their theology, it's who they are. Like, they grew up a certain way. This is not something that like changes. As for me, since pretty much my foundation as a Christian got sheared and cut in half, there's a lot of patchwork. There's a lot that simply filled in the void and the gap that was there. And unfortunately, I've had a lot of people who's made an impact in my life that I didn't want to have an impact in my life. So consequently, I've learned a lot, and some of the teachings, some of the values and all that are outside of biblical, the Bible and all of that. I am very well aware of this. And I had a discussion with one of my friends right after the Bible study, and I said, look, I will never misdirect, I will never mislead or guide other people away from the scriptures. Now, when I do kind of like say, hey, check this out, check this song, this point, this topic, this video, all of this, it's basically to complement the scriptures. Like, this stuff is important. All right, sorry about that. So I had to cut that off because I started rambling, and I absolutely hate when I ramble. Look, foundations are important, and some people have that more developed than others, plain and simple. But as a Christian, my foundation is not what I ever thought it would be. It's going to be different than others, but I want to be complementary and not something that conflicts or causes problems or issues. And I understand some people are very wary of that which is outside, and I do invite criticism as far as that goes. It's not like, again, being off is not the same thing as going outside of the Bible. It's not like completely like everything outside is off, wrong, inaccurate, you know, full of sin, evilness, whatever. It's nothing like that. There's going to be those areas for sure. I stay away from those areas largely. I know music is a hot topic for a lot of people, where it's like, dude, that's wrong. That's devil worshiping music. Yeah, can't talk. For some, yes, but for show tech, no. But they do use the occasional curse word. Yeah. I do not know anything beyond like 2 songs from them, or maybe 3 songs. I don't remember. Basically, I listen to them on Pandora every now and then. Like I have it set to Italo Brothers and what's that other group? Italo Brothers and what's that other band? Because I can't remember them. It's hilariously bad. Oh man, this is so funny. Gotta hit that real quick. Pop this back on. I can't remember. Gareth Emery. Okay, so Italo Brothers, Gareth Emery, Team Head Kick, Jim Yosef and Tobu, and then Rio and Summer. That's like dead last though. Rio is just great, but totally. Anyway, I guess to summarize it up, inside, down, somewhere deep, I'm a bit of a raver. I like that colorful, flashy stuff. So the club and the not so much. Raver, yes. That includes hardstyle too. It's basically like cotton candy and hard candy. I can't even believe I'm making that comparison. It's so bad. But yeah, foundations as a Christian, it's very complimentary, but it's very like, huh? How does that work? I don't know. Don't ask. I can't, like, one of the things I will not talk about is my thought process. It's all, like, messed up. But I guess that's the beauty of it. Like, sometimes a masterpiece comes out of all of this. And hence why, like, partly why this channel exists is because there's a lot of, like, crazy awesome stuff that I would like to get out, and hopefully a masterpiece can come out of all of this. Plain and simple. Stuff that would complement your life. As far as foundations go, this is something I do stand upon very tightly. This is important. How you grow it's going to affect your kids. It's going to affect those around you, because as you grow, you're going to impact those on your left and right. Plain and simple. Obviously, you're going to impact those who are, like, in your family, like your kids or your siblings. Some people are going to never get married, so they're never going to have to worry about kids and all of that. But you're probably still going to remain in contact with your siblings or your parents at the very least. And as you grow, as you get older, you're going to rub off on them in some way, shape, or form. Your foundation will come into play in a lot of things, especially when conflictions and problems and issues, all that stuff pops up, and you start disagreeing. And yeah, apparently that happens to most of the marriage, from what I'm hearing. Like, most of the chafing, the conflictions, all of that, the drama, etc., comes from inside of a relationship, so to speak. I should have just said relationship, like marriage, not just simply go to marriage. Still need to cover that topic of BDSM and all that too later, just because it's a really cool topic that I know more about than the average Christian. Alternative relationships, I did a video on that like 2 years ago. I was actually talking a little bit about that, but directly covering BDSM, gotta be careful. Right time and right place for everything. That, and sometimes it takes longer to get around due to other issues that are beyond my control. Yep. Anyway, I keep going off track here, sorry. Foundations. Some people will remain only in Scripture and the Bible, and others, like myself, are a little biased. I have good parents, and I trust them. We have a very good relationship that we worked hard to develop and to improve, to make sure that nothing gets between us. We care about each other. We do the best that we can for each other. We do not abuse or use each other's. Now, since I was adopted and I have a penchant, when I was a kid, I had a penchant for manipulation. I realized as I grew older, there was a lot that I needed to set aside, I need to put away. When it comes down to manipulation, that's a whole entirely interesting topic right there. But I do try to put things in a way that, and I am very aware of this, of like, I need to be careful when I present things. I need to present things in a way that, like I said, is complementary, but not something that leads away from scriptures, but rather goes alongside or to the scriptures. And that can cause a lot of issues with Christians because, trust issues. They don't entirely know where I stand. I kind of like that in a sense, where it's new, it's fresh, it's interesting, a new perspective, a new point of, what do they call it? POV, point of view, a new point of view. A different point of view, not new, a different point of view. Because we're all looking at the same thing, just in a different way. Jesus may be the center, but that's going to look very different for other people. Pretty much that's about it. I'm just keeping this somewhat simple. I'm not breaking this down into a whole bunch of different categories as far as like what your foundation may be. After all, that could go much longer than this, and I'm not trying to have this go like be a 40-minute long video. No, this is just simply, this is pretty cool. Want to bring this up, the differences between me and Christians, and the fact that foundations, well, I end up maturing differently as a Christian. And, well, there are parts of it that are pretty cool. I may break it down later. I may actually take the different points as far as what separates Christians from one another as far as their belief. But I would just simply start with Protestants and Baptists and say, let's start from there. Anyway, if I do break that down, I'll be just breaking down like that and start from there. All right, until next time. Oh, right. Yep, I played a minute of that song. All right, check out the link to the song if you like it down below in the description.